And welcome to Conservative Talk.
And we have a very special guest this week, BJ Van Gundy, who is running for re-election as the first vice chair of the Georgia GAGOP, is going to be joining us.
You're definitely going to want to hear what he has to say. He's an outstanding candidate for this position. And welcome back to Conservative Talk. My name is Justin.
And this is Jamie.
And as always, we want to take a moment to remind our viewers to make sure they're hitting the like button and the share button on any of the content that they run across on any of the platforms we release our content on, as well as make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. That way you'll always stay up to date on any of the content we produce, and you'll never miss a single moment of any of the content that Jamie and I do put out. We also want to give a quick reminder to our viewers to go to our website at conservativestalk.org and hit that sponsor tab in the upper right-hand corner or the lower right-hand corner and help us out with what you're able to. Because until you do, everything will continue to go bad. Everything will continue to go wrong. Jamie and I will not be able to ultimately take over and manage and handle everything that is going bad and wrong in your life.
And I don't care what the Daily Show says, we actually invented news.
Exactly. So with that in mind, Jamie, you want to give your first reminder?
Boycott hometown headlines, because this is actual fake news. They are liberal propaganda, and we need to make sure that they stay out of Northwest Georgia.
Absolutely. They're on the way out, hopefully.
They're getting there.
Sooner rather than later.
They're getting there.
Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, we also want to say a quick thank you to our affiliates. Our first one being Net News Network. So you can find Net News Network at netnewsnetwork.net. You'll find a great resource for finding information that is coming firsthand from people on the ground, talking to people in the know that know what's going on in their areas from across the country. So make sure you are checking out Net News Network at netnewsnetwork.net. We also want to say a quick thank you to Veterans for America First, the premier America First policy organization, and they really promote and push their agenda through their media arm, and that being Vet Voice. So you can find Vet Voice on every major social media platform out there. It's a place where you'll only find America First policy producers, and you'll only be able to find these people at Vet Voice. So make sure you are looking for Vet Voice on every major social media platform. And with that, Jamie, let's roll into it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So we want to bring in our special guest. And we have a very special guest for you all today. We have BJ Van Gundy, who's running for re-election as the first vice chair of the Georgia GOP. So you don't want to miss this. We're going to bring BJ in right now.
How you doing, Mr. Van Gundy?
Doing great tonight. How you guys doing?
If we were any better, we don't know if anybody can handle us.
Most people can't, because I'm on a whole nother level right now, getting ready for my re-election. So I know BJ is too.
Yeah, looking forward to it. June's a long ways off, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
March,
is. But
Saturday's just around the corner for you.
Yeah. And I'm about ready for it.
Just to get it over.
I know what you mean. I'm about ready for it to get over.
Yeah.
Well, you've got this one this weekend, and then you've got another one next month.
Then I have my district one. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I can relax for a second. But yeah, no. So, thank you for joining us again.
Mm-hmm.
For all our listeners in Northwest Georgia, kind of just first off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been involved in the party.
Well, how long I've been involved in the party is just going to show you how old I am. I was a delegate to my first state party convention and county party in 1993. So 30 years. This is my 30-year anniversary of direct participation in the party. I did work on George Bush Sr.'s election in 1988, and then helped out his campaign in 1992. We didn't win, but I helped out that campaign. And after that, with Bill Clinton getting elected, I said, well, I got to do something else. And I started getting involved with the county party in Gwinnett County.
Awesome.
Okay.
I became, if you want me to run through it real fast, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. By all means, yes. Give us your resume.
All right. I first became second vice chairman of the Gwinnett Republican Party in 1994. when an opening happened. I also was the treasurer of the Gwinnett County Young Republicans. I know it's hard to believe looking at me that I was ever a young Republican, but became treasurer of the Young Republicans. And what I found out by being treasurer of the Young Republicans is I never, ever, ever, ever want to be a treasurer of anything ever again.
Yeah.
Just the detail and the pounding everything out. So I have never run for that again. I became first vice chairman in 1995 at the 1995 Gwinnett County election. I became first vice chairman of Gwinnett. And in 1996, we had a realignment of the districts because of a challenge to Cynthia McKinney's district at the time. And Barry Doublestein moved from county party chairman to a district chairman, opening up the chairman position. So I became Gwinnett County Republican Party chairman in 1996. In June of a presidential election year. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but got reelected in 97 and stayed as county party chairman until 99. I then became the 6th district chairman, Newt Gingrich's old district that Johnny Isaacson came into also in 99. And I was the 6th district chairman for 2 years. Then in 2002, I was chairman of John Linder's congressional campaign because he and I are very good friends. Ran a few campaigns for 4 years. And in 2005, I ran for election as the 7th district chairman and became that chairman, stayed in that for 4 years. In 2009, I ran for second vice chairman of the Georgia Republican Party and was that for 4 years till 2013. In 2015, maybe 17, I don't know. I became assistant secretary of the party, and then I've run for first vice chairman now, and have been that for the last 2 years. So those have been my party positions. This is basically, I think it's my 24th or 25th convention cycle that I'm participating in and helping with.
Wow.
So,
well, I mean, there's something to be said with having experience in leadership.
Yeah, I mean that's an extensive resume.
Yeah,
yeah, it's my wife thinks it's overly extensive and would like it to end. Nah, she's a sport. On a personal level, I've been married to my wife for 31 plus years. We're going. This is the 32nd year. I have 4 kids. Actually, she had the kids because we're old fashioned.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
Yeah. And my oldest, I just got off the phone with. She's a special education teacher down in Muskogee County. Avery is in her senior year of business school at Columbus State University. Cardin, my 19-year-old, is in the Navy as a corpsman. And Reagan, our baby boy, is 16 and in his sophomore year. And Cardin has his Eagle Scout, and Reagan is working on his. So those are my proudest accomplishments. Are 4 brilliant children, a beautiful wife that still loves me, or so she says, and success with kids and family is a great thing as well.
I was a combat medic in the Army myself, and I trained several of those corpsmen.
Awesome, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he's very excited to learn what he's got to learn to do corpsman, and then he thinks he wants to go into the medical equipment world from there.
Okay. Yeah, we took a couple of corpsmen in with the Army for their combat life-saving skills, and they trained with us. And when I was down there, so
well, he's just starting out. He's just doing the boot camp and the A school and the B school and whatever else stuff.
I got you, huh? Well, so I want to ask real fast, so we know that we're getting ready to come up into a convention election cycle. We know that you are the current first vice chair. Where is the party now, and where do you see it going under your leadership as first vice chair?
Well, let me tell you where we've gone, somewhat as an answer to that. And I have some numbers because I'm 60 years old. I have to refer to some notes I have here just now and then. But look, one of the things I'm saying when I talk around the state is the state Republican Party. A lot of the folks in the party around the counties that I've talked to and been around the state have kind of I don't know, the best word is a funky feeling, if you will, that the fall wasn't as successful as it should have been.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is we had November, and then we had December, and we lost December. So we had that combined with the fact that the quote red wave didn't happen at the level that we wanted it to or expected it to in Washington. But I want to try and help people get out of that funk and pump people up a little bit, because the fact is in November, we won every single statewide, state level position in the entire state of Georgia. And it's the first time since 2016 that we've done that. We won every statewide position. Now, I know that's only 6 years ago, but it's significant that in a time when everybody was telling us that Georgia is purple, the Georgia Republican Party and the candidates that we had were able to pull off an election where Brian Kemp beat Stacey Abrams by almost 300,000 votes.
Yep.
Yeah.
When people thought that, Stacey's going to hurt us and whatever. So the Georgia Republican Party did that. Now, the way it was done with tens of thousands of volunteers knocking on doors, making phone calls through a system that the Georgia Republican Party set up volunteer systems. We also funded the Georgia Republican Party, the state party, funded staffers, 400 staffers across the state of Georgia to help support those volunteers. And as the GAGOP, we were hugely successful in November. And the cherry on top of it is that while we're in this funk over Congress being a slim majority, it ain't Georgia's fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Georgia, I don't know if you guys have looked at it, but Georgia added a congressman from Georgia.
They sure did.
We've got an extra congressman.
Rich
so
McCormick.
if you look at, they all go, New York gained a couple of Republicans. Well, that's nice. Where were the other 48 states? If you want to point fingers at failure or lack of success, it's in 48 other states besides New York and Georgia. Yep. So I'm very proud of the fact that that the state Republican Party leadership, along with our state committee, as well as all you county chairmen that are out there, and the volunteers that really make this party, it was a huge success. It was huge.
It was, and I do want to know that a lot of the staffers that were with GAGOP, worked endlessly. I know.
Trevor was incredible.
The last two that have come to Georgia, to Northwest Georgia, and worked with us have been outstanding, and become great friends. One of them is now in Tennessee, helping run the state of Tennessee's party, and he's
the political director of Tennessee.
Yeah, and that's he learned how to. He was only able to really step into that role after he was given the position and the opportunity through GAGOP.
We like to tell everybody we taught him everything he knows.
Well, of course.
And so it's just, it's a testament to where the party is going, even though kind of this, I guess, veil that's over everyone's eyes is the federal side of things and what the national media is saying. But really, our party is becoming stronger than it's ever been. And I think that's the message and a testament to the, state executive committee.
We did our job, and mentioning the Tennessee guy, if you look deeper, you'd find out that we had 400 staffers, congressional staffers, and RNC staffers, and staffers for other states. We had 400 people come from out of state to help us with the runoff in December.
Yep.
So those people all went back home. And they're now going to be in a position to do as your friend did with going to Tennessee. So, we made over 1.3 million phone calls.
Yep.
And knocked on over 1.3 million doors by coincidence, similar numbers. But it's through the Georgia Republican Party's job has become somewhat because of a realignment of the way money is done. If you've seen things that Brian Kemp has said, by the way, Big fan of Brian Kemp, supporter with him.
We are too.
All the way. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's an amazing governor.
Absolutely.
And
done wonders for the state.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you a little side story on that. I've got lots of side stories, but one of them is from last summer. I got a phone call from Greg Bluestein with the AJC,
Mm-hmm.
and he had called me in May or so and asked me if we could bury the hatchet and maybe he could get a quote or two from me now and then. And I said, yeah, we'll see. And he contacted me, I think it was July or so. And he says, hey, could I talk to you? I said, sure. And he goes, hey, I'd like a quote from you on this and wondering if you would do this. I said, okay, what's it about? And he said, well, I'm writing a story on how there are people that are going to vote for Brian Kemp, but they're going to turn around and vote for Raphael Warnock. And that there's people that do that. Now, and he said, would you agree? And would you give me a quote about that? I said, absolutely not. Here's the quote I have for you. The quote I have for you is that I have no concept of how people could go vote for a great patriot, super conservative governor that's done amazing works for the state of Georgia, and then turn around and vote for a goddamn commie.
Yep.
And he said,
that's it.
I can't print that. I said, I know. That's part of the reason I use that language. But the fact is that it makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of that story is, and I hate to say this, but my opponent in this race turned around and was quoted in the newspaper the next day saying exactly what Greg Bluestein wanted her to say. So I will just point that out, that it takes experience to be in the co-pilot seat for the state of Georgia Republican Party. And we're going to have a brand spanking new chairman. Doesn't matter who wins. Okay.
Yeah.
I have my preferences. They're friends of mine, very good friends of mine. Rebecca is a very, very, very dear friend of mine for about 20 years now.
We had her on about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Great woman. No, we're behind her wholeheartedly.
She's amazing. Josh has also been a very good friend of mine. He from Columbus, and when my first daughter went down there to go to school, I called him up and said, hey, you're Catholic, I'm Catholic, my daughter's Catholic. Could you call her up and take her to church every once in a while? And so he would take her to church. So he's been a very dear friend of mine for a long time too. But Rebecca and I have worked together for a very long time. She's an amazing woman. She works very hard. She's awesome. But the fact is, we're going to have a new state party chairman.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were having a pilot come in that has never flown a 757, he's flown 737s and 747s and fighter jets but if you had a pilot coming in and he's sitting down for his first time sitting in a 757, it sure would be good to have a co-pilot that's flown the plane once or twice before or for quite a while. And I just think I've given, after I gave you all my credentials and everything I've done, I'm a guy that can help county party chairman be successful. I can help the YRs be successful, having been a YR, and I can help district chairman, having been a district chairman for 2 different districts. And that's the kind of thing that David Schaefer has had me do for the last couple of years, which is when the first district blew up at the end of the last convention cycle,
Mm-hmm.
I went down and chaired a new convention for them. I took a team of people. Now, I got to admit, it was an all-star team. Rebecca was on the team, as was John White, the state parliamentarian, was my parliamentarian. And Mike, the state secretary, was the secretary for the game. So I had an all-star star team, so it was easy chairing the convention. But I went down there and chaired a convention. And I think you need somebody that's been able to chair. I've chaired many, many conventions, probably 20 over the last 20 years. And that's the kind of person you need as first vice chairman.
I mean, yeah, there is, like I said earlier, there is something to be said for experience, especially in roles of leadership like that.
And it's going to be very big. So I do want to ask this though. What are some of the challenges that you do see us getting ready to face as a statewide party, and how do you think that we can overcome them?
Some of the challenges. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know that there's challenges that are unique and upcoming that I haven't seen 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or 20 years ago. So I've been through challenges. Okay. We have the state Republican Party, and the party has always had factions. We're self-thinkers. The Democrats tend to get their talking points. And I used to say, when I used to watch the Sunday morning shows, I don't watch them much anymore, although Shannon does a great job on Fox. When you watch the Sunday morning shows, I could watch the first show at 9 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock, I could have been a great Democrat for the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 12 o'clock show. Okay. I knew the talking points. Yeah. I knew what the buzzwords were that needed to be used. So as Republicans, we value individual responsibility, individual personalities, individual opinions. And sometimes those opinions get crossed. And so we get groups of people that have different ideas, but that's what makes us stronger in the end.
Absolutely.
So I as far as challenges go, we're going to have a presidential election. We've got Donald Trump is running. We've got, others running now. And, I expect Ron DeSantis to get in, and those will be the two big ones in there along with others. But, the challenge is always is typically bringing everybody back together at the end. Okay. And making sure that we keep everybody playing nice so that we can all come together and get our guy across the line in November.
My boss describes it as a primary is nothing more than a giant family reunion. Everybody fights tooth and nail, but at the end, everybody gets together for the big family photo.
Yeah, because that's a great description, and because we're all blood. Okay, we all have the same blood of patriotism, low taxes, save the border, voting integrity, and pro-life, all those things. And at the end, we get a candidate that believes all those same things, and we go fight for them.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, that's the whole notion behind the primaries, to allow the voters to select which one the most want, and then everybody get behind that one.
Well, and that's the beauty about this party. And that's what I loved about the Georgia GOP in its totality, is that we've all been free thinkers, but we all realize that what the end game is and what's important for the state. And so sometimes we all look at each other and we go, hey, you know what? I may have a difference in opinion on a couple of items, but the bigger picture is we're still fighting for the same key points. And, though the person I supported in the primary didn't win, we gotta get everybody across the finish line. And we've done a great job as a state party of doing that.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie and I are a perfect example of that. We differ.
We don't get along.
we differ on quite a few things, but at the end of the day, it's the big picture goals that ultimately win out, and that's what the agenda is.
There's an old saying, or one that I don't hear anybody else ever say it, but it's one I heard a long time ago and that I've repeated over and over is, in politics, friends come and go, but enemies accumulate. But one of the things you got to do is bury the hatchet with enemies and move on. And we got to move on to get the November, candidate across the line. And I intend to do that. And I've done that through many, many cycles, and intend to do it again this time.
Well, I mean, it definitely sounds like you've got a very strong idea of exactly what you're wanting to do and continue to do within the party. So one of the things that we've been asking each of the candidates for these statewide positions that we've been speaking to is, what exactly is the role of what position you're running for? So you're running for re-election for first vice chair. What exactly is the role of the first vice chair within the state party?
Well, it's pretty simple in the state party rules. The state party rules say serves at the pleasure of or serves to manage whatever direction the chairman gives him. Okay. Now, the role that David's had me do this time, and next chairman may be different, but the role has been a bit of a troubleshooter. If things have cropped up in a county that there's been an issue or something, he'll sometimes dump it over at me, and or if it's a parliamentary issue, John White and I are very dear friends. Talked to him yesterday and Monday, I think, about some issues with some county issues that are going on. And because of my time, David has relied on me for historical or proper background on issues, and I intend to continue to do that. The role is not to go out and institute policy or make up their own policy. Look, as a state executive committee, there's 28 people on the state executive committee with voting positions. There's another several that are on the state executive committee in advisory positions, such as financial chair and the parliamentarian, and then the YR chair and the Women's State Federation of Republican Women, and those kinds of things. And so we formulate things as a state executive committee, and then it's a matter of the chairman, first vice, second vice, and the rest of us to carry that out and make sure it happens. And I intend to, I believe I'm the best candidate for being that person in that co-pilot seat to help the chairman every way I can, as well as carry out whatever the chairman asks me to do. If you're someone who's never been a district chairman or not been around for a long time, you don't have the institutional knowledge to make sure that you manage things right. I know how politics works in Augusta and Columbus and Savannah and around the state, and I know the personalities and the people around those areas, and I work with them quite a bit to make sure that we are singing off of one song sheet, even if the song sheet is on a bass clef versus a treble clef.
I like that. I like that, and that makes a major difference, especially in a state position like that, because every region, every county has their own way of doing their local politics.
Absolutely.
And having someone who has to come down and give advice, it plays a major role when you know those key players and how to, address those issues to better suit all the stakeholders.
I mean, the first thing I do if there's an issue at a county is I ask for a copy of the county party's rules. I ask for a copy of the district party's rules. Most of them I've seen before, or I'm familiar with the concepts, but I also know what other districts look like in rules and what other counties look like. And sometimes I'll give pointers to a county chairman and go, that rule is kind of, it's a bit wonky, and you might want to reconsider that rule or the way that that's worded and redo that. So I've done a lot of advice around the state on rules. I serve on the state permanent rules committee and have been on that for probably, as I listed, I've been on the state executive committee for 16 years out of the last 24 years. And
that's wild.
And then on the state rules committee, permanent rules committee, I've been credentials chairman at 4 or 5 state conventions, maybe just 4 state
you are
conventions.
glutton for punishment.
So yeah.
That's
Credentials is tough. Take care of your credentials, people.
Yes.
So it's just it can be tough, but I've found it very rewarding in the relationships and friendships that I've built around the state.
All right. Well, we know you got to run. We know you've got some special obligations that you are taking care of this evening. So I just want to ask you to give us just one more time to all the delegates that will be coming to the state convention, why they should cast their vote for you.
Well, I'll give you my summary statement. My friends, we've accomplished a lot together, but there's still more work to be done. We need to defend our victories and build on them. We need to prepare for the next elections and ensure that we keep Georgia red. We need to promote our conservative principles of limited government, individual freedom, fiscal responsibility, family values, national security, and law and order. That's why I'm asking you for your vote and your trust once again. With your help, I will continue to serve as your first vice chairman with honor and humility. With your help, I'll continue to lead our party in vision and unity. With your help, I'll continue to fight for our state with passion and patriotism. Together, we can make Georgia greater than ever before. Together, we can keep America great again. Thank you very much. And as I closed my speech 2 years ago at the state convention, Van Gundy is Dutch for badass, and I will fight for you.
Love it. You know, the people who trained me in politics told me that you're a pretty outstanding guy. And after having you on the show, I have to agree with him. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
I mean, that was awesome.
All right.
Oh,
Have a good one, guys.
You as well, sir.
All right.
All right. Bye. You know, I got to say, he's good.
Yeah. You know, like I said just a minute ago, a lot of people who I've known for a long time who not only got me in politics, but keep me in politics said that he was great, but I was thoroughly impressed.
Mm-hmm. I really like the analogy that he uses with the co-pilot there. That's a really good one, because you always want an experienced co-pilot when you have a new pilot coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, you know, I mean, that was the perfect analogy.
Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, we have reached the inevitable point in everything in life, and that being the conclusion. We want to take a quick moment to remind our viewers to make sure that they are hitting the like button and the share button on everything that they run across on any of the platforms that we do release our content on, as well as make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. That way you'll always stay up to date on everything that we do, and you'll never miss a single moment of anything that we do. We also like to take a moment to remind our viewers to go to our website at conservativetalk.org and hit that sponsor tab in the upper right-hand corner or the lower right-hand corner and help us out with what you're able to. You will be directly financing the takeover of the world, just to let you know. Careful. we want to say a quick thank you to our affiliates, and our first one being Net News Network. You can find Net News Network at netnewsnetwork.net. We want to say thank you to Veterans for America First, the premier America First policy agenda platform out there, as well as their media arm, Vet Voice. So you'll only find these America First the America First policy producer and agendas on Vet Voice.
If you can't tell, it's a mouthful, and I'm so glad Justin says that every time, because I will never.
it's getting to the point to where
love that organization.
Yes, they're great,
and it's a lot.
Absolutely. So, Jamie, you got time for your final thought?
Justice decides to throw in my Halloween costume when I was Uncle Fester.
It's just your light bulb.
Yeah, you know, I was at best costume ever, and we did this great thing. Part of the final thought, right? We did this great thing as the party, and we went out and passed out Halloween candy for all the local kids. And I dressed up as Uncle Fester, and we found this little light bulb that was remote control, and all the kids actually thought I was Uncle Fester because it was around the time when the Addams Family came out, and Wednesday and all that came out. So seeing like that, anyway, final thought.
You'd enjoy that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Final thought is, get ready, everybody. This is county convention time. So unless you had a special provision, all 159 counties in the state of Georgia will be meeting, tomorrow, right? Yeah. For the county convention. So make sure you get out, you get involved, and we will continue to have guests who are running for statewide position or district positions kind of on the show, so that you can kind of get, viewership of what their platform is and where they plan on taking the direction of the party. But the key to all of this, regardless of who's at the helm, who your county party chair is, who your executive board is, the key is making sure that you stay involved and volunteer. None of it matters if you don't show up at your county conventions, if you don't make phone calls, if you don't get out and talk to the people in your own community about what we can do to better grow our values and continue to push the Republican Party agenda. Contrary to popular belief, keyboard warriors aren't effective at all. No.
So make sure you are staying involved, and this is the absolute perfect opportunity for you to get involved.
So I look forward to seeing. I know in Floyd County, we will be at the Etowah Senior Center, where we always are for our convention. Make sure you are there. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome so long as you're there before 10 o'clock. If you are a delegate, you're the only person who can vote. If you're an alternate, you have to be there just in case your delegation, all of your delegates do not come for your precinct. But we encourage everyone to come in, be involved, be active, and, come and learn, because there's a lot of things that go on, like BJ was talking about, that most people don't know. And unless you are in the day-to-day process of what the party actually does, you have no idea all of the things that you have to keep up with, have to get involved with. And, if at anything, come in and learn.
Yes. We also want to take a moment to remind you that the municipal elections are coming up as well. So if you are a candidate and any that is wanting to run for any local position throughout the entire state of Georgia, reach out to Jamie and I, and we'll provide the email address for you to reach out to as well. So where we can help you to take that step to where we can get you in contact with the people that you need to talk to in order to be able to get in this position to run for those. So with that in mind, this is Conservative Talk, and we will see you.